Morals. I want to talk about morals. I've been on a journey. If you were with me yesterday, I'm really dealing with, I've written this down. Morally, what is correct for Andrew? Like, what do? I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't drink. I don't do opioids. I don't do amphetamines, methamphetamines, nothing like that. And we are adding, I do not do processed food. I have, and this is specific to me, I have used food as an emotional crutch for majority of my life. That is where we go wrong. Now, I get addicted easily to processed food. Very easily. And it's literally a slippery slope. Like a cigarette for me, 1 drag, 2 drags, 3 drags, and then suddenly I'm in this world where, it's just started with a Diet Coke, now it's a protein bar, now it's this. But I have never labeled processed food. I've always labeled processed food as garbage, right? Always as garbage. But I've never labeled it as cigarettes, as something that reels me in to get me addicted. And if you've been watching for the last months, I've been touching on this. Like, all the supermarket foods are designed to have you redose. Every food that finally made it to packages, finally made it to packages, to stores, refined, down to a level where it's like the taste buds are like, yum, more. Yum, more. And Andrew goes, yum, more. And he uses it as an emotional crutch. And it's like, it's horrific, because I wish I used narcotics as an emotional crutch. Because if I used narcotics as an emotional crutch, okay, maybe I would deteriorate my life and I would be homeless, but at least I'd still be lean and fit and not directly impact my childhood trauma of being fat. My childhood trauma was about being fat, so I use an emotional crutch to keep myself fat. It's like, that's what it's like living inside my soul, my spirit. It's like, I wish I could use anything else. And there's such a level of freedom that I'm reaching now. It's like, I've been toying with this, I've known this, I've been circling around this, and I'm writing down my morals of what is important to me. Like, who is Andrew? Andrew doesn't drink. I just don't drink. Sue me, I don't drink. It's poisonous. It doesn't work for me. Cool. Yeah, I can back it up with science, and I can back it up that it's shit for you. Great. Andrew doesn't do amphetamines. Why? It creates too much of a high dopamine and serotonin response, which makes the rest of life really impossible to do. It really robs you of your entire spirit, soul, everything, the whole lot. And after you stop for months on end, if not years on end. Even from 1 dose, don't do it. That's been correct for me for like now 13 years, don't quote me exactly, but like that's how long it's been. Cigarettes has been 6-7 years, and occasionally I've had a cigarette like 2 or 3 times, but not really, that's like, no cigarettes. Alcohol, the last 6-7 years I've drank maybe 10 times, okay, cool. Maybe more than 10 times. I'm just trying to think, 10 to 15 times, okay? But Andrew doesn't drink. Poisonous. Processed food though, it's always been like this, okay, well, you'll lose the fat and then you can have occasional treats occasionally. You don't have occasionally cigarettes. Like every time I have processed food, my body feels like shit. I feel like I begin to be this person like that's like, okay, I'll wait till my treat the next day or the next day. Like I become like an addict. Like if there was a way to describe an addict, that it's described in movies, that it's described in, I have addictive behavior around processed foods. Now, I do believe that everybody has that to an extent. Mine is just really severe. It's just really severe on a really high level. It's just really severe. So all I have to do is I put processed foods in the place of, I don't do it. It's cigarettes for me. What does Andrew do as well? Andrew's morals, and I literally wrote it down, is I exercise for at least an hour a day every day. Whether it's an hour of walking, whether it's an hour of gym, whether it's an hour of whatever, that is what I do. It's what I've been doing for 6-7 years. Every time I don't do that, 10 years almost, every time I don't do that, it's horrific. I feel like shit. That's my morals, and that's for me, and I can bring up all the evidence and all the science of why that's good for you, why that's good. That is what I do. I don't do rest days. There's never a day that you shouldn't go for an hour walk. Our bodies are designed for movement, okay? They're very simple morals in the scheme of things, but it's these hard and fast rules of, I can look back and see every time my life gets better or life gets worse. It's literally that. Like I know with cigarettes, my life becomes horrific. Amphetamines, horrific. Alcohol, horrific. My training goes, everything, just my whole vibration goes, I get more, just yuck. Don't exercise, yuck. Okay. And people used to laugh, they'd be like, but you'll do other narcotics and substances, including like copious mixes and everything like that. Not that I condone any of this, okay? This is strictly educational, right? And not even educating. I'm not educating you here yet about it. But you won't touch alcohol and you'll exercise every day and you try to eat healthy. Yeah, absolutely. Because one doesn't impact me as much, and I could be here all day and talk to you about that. One affects your mental, but the other one is like your fuel, and this fuel impacts every single one of your cells inside of you. So if you look at it, every single one of your cells, every single thing is vibrating from just garbage food. Then you put narcotics on top of it, it's like bad. But if everything's vibrating great and you put something on top of it, it just changes a little chemical in your brain, but it's not changing the whole nutrition and the whole feeling of this. And that's true for me. Charlie, or the Colombian snow, has always been a question mark. I'm still uncertain where that sits, but I'm not putting it morally as a no yet. Why I say that every time is in the right circumstances, it does occasionally become, again, problematic. Problematic as in it becomes sort of a thing. So I'm not certain how that sits or doesn't sit. So that is still a question mark, but it's never derailed anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm that weird person that will have some grass and then go sit down and work. Like most people have Charlie and then they go and they talk about stuff. I just go and work, or like I plug in. Now, not that I'm condoning that either. What I'm trying to say is I'm working, or what I'm trying to convey is I'm working on what's morally true for me. My father just died. I have no idea how long I have left. I have no idea how other people have left. No one cares. Everyone's left me. Everyone is doing their own journey. I'm doing my own journey. So if I'm doing my own journey of this life and existence, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what am I doing? What is my existence? What is my existence. What do I like? What do I like? Do I like eating a pizza and riding a bicycle and smoking a joint in the streets of Amsterdam? No, I don't like the pizza bit. I don't like that pizza bit. I don't like how it makes me feel. I don't like it. I know how I want to feel. I like training. I like training. We spent in Amsterdam with my ex last month on sprinkles of different things, right, of different intoxicants. We would go to the gym every morning / afternoon. We'd have a sprinkle of something, we'd go for a coffee, sprinkle of something, we'd go to the gym, like train. Not that I condone any of that, but it was a vibe. It was cool. We ate healthy, ate really clean, was a nice feel. Even though we took things potentially a little bit too far, because the ex just is very like more. And I'm trying to keep up with the young bird and trying to be like, no, but kind of, but it's kind of like, it got messy. In the scheme of things, like, I know what's a vibe and what's not a vibe. And I know I'm talking a lot about substances here, but processed food is narcotics for me. It is the biggest problem that I've ever had. It's the biggest problem that I've ever had. And I bargain with myself. And I think a lot of people do this. And it's all disguised in this media crap that like, oh, it's fine to have a treat sometimes. Is it fine to have a cigarette sometimes? Not really. It's still shit for you. It's still really, really bad for you. It's not fine to have it. It's not fine to have some booze sometimes. Right? And it's probably not fine to have Colombian snow sometimes either. Probably not fine. Like realistically, hijacks your dopamine systems, probably not fine. But I'm not ready to take that moral step yet. Grass, there's an impact on grass. It's probably not fine, but it also could potentially work. I don't know, but I know the thing that I have problematic circumstances with. And I think that every person has their one or two things. You know, there are one or two things that they're like, whoa, these things are really running my life. And I've made decisions before which were final and changed my entire life. Like there was one version of Andrew that smoked cigarettes. That version of Andrew was dead gone. There was a version of Andrew at a very young age which cooked substances and indulged in amphetamines. That version of Andrew was dead. No longer. Couldn't go back to that. There's a version of Andrew up until this very point that would sometimes be on processed food, sometimes without processed food, sometimes be on processed food, sometimes without processed food. That version of Andrew is dead. And we're about to kill him. Now, in that, I had to decide, well, what does that actually mean? What does processed food mean for me? So processed food is anything processed. Let's start with that. Not in its natural form. Meat, natural form, happy days. Fish, natural form, happy days. Eggs, natural form, comes out. The egg comes out, boom, natural form. Dairy has to be processed. Not fine. Dairy, not fine for Andrew. Dairy, no go. Dairy, no go. Butter, no go. Processed. Bread, no go. I have included in this grains. It's a no-go. And I was umming and ahhing grains. Grains is a no-go. In nature, we did not find kilos and kilos of unlimited grains. Sweet potato, vegetable, fine. So we're not certain if we're going to be no carbs or carbs. Not certain on that, right? Well, most likely we will have carbohydrates in there, But the carbohydrates will come from fruits, vegetables. Fruits, vegetables, eggs, meat, fish, no nuts. No nuts. So nuts, every single nut in its purest form has an enzyme around it. Don't quote me on this, so I'm going to use really basic. It's basically got a toxic layer over the top of it, which unless the nut is activated, it actually is not good for your gut. Like, it's designed not to be processed as it is. And I have sometimes overconsumed nuts as well. So they are somewhat addictive to me, but nuts in general were very hard to find. Like, if in nature, if you think about it, we would find them, and even if we'd find them and you eat them, and then there's something bad in the guts about them, and some people are allergic to them, nuts, no good. So then I got myself worried. I was like, shit, that's not a lot of food, man. Like, where am I going to get all the calories from? And I was like, all right, well, eggs have a decent amount of calories. So, like, I could be starting a morning with 3 to 4 eggs, have some avocado, and then cool, we're at 600, 700 calories, maybe a bit of salmon as well, or a fish or something. We could start, or we could have a meal which is like 800-ish calories. Cool. So we've got that. We've got fruits that kind of can keep you going throughout the day. A banana here, some berries there, something there. You could have sweet potato at night, for example, if you wanted to, or if you didn't, whatever. You can have red meat, which has a decent amount of fat and can be quite high calorie, like a rich steak, different fishes and meats. So I can see that, you know, my calories will probably be, you know, at 2.5-ish, 2.5 to 3,000-ish, 2.5 to 3,000-ish is, but that's still a decent amount of food. And if I'm moving a lot throughout the day, then I will use fruits to prop some stuff up, or I will have an extra avocado, or I will have loaded at night, for example, a decent amount of sweet potatoes. So I've filled up my muscles with carbohydrates ready to use for the next day. So it will sort of sit like that. Sort of, realistically. On pure keto, it's going to be relatively difficult to hit the calories every day unless I'm having a steak every day. Like, it's not difficult, it's just very consistent. Like, I'll need high fat foods, I'll need always avocado, I need always steak, and you know, maybe I'll do that, but morally that's not where I'm at. Morally I'm at, Andrew was getting rid of processed foods. So with saying that, I consciously went through the supermarket yesterday, and I'm going to go again today, and I went through every single aisle. Just really looking at all the cigarettes that are available. All the cigarettes being the food, and really looking at what am I going to miss? Like, what am I going to miss? Have the last of it. Out of everything, I had sushi again. Sushi's gone. Sauce is crap. There's mayonnaise in it. There's rice in it. It's grains. Sushi's gone. So I was like, okay. I had some sushi. I had some ice cream again. I am going to miss ice cream. I wanted a pizza. But a pizza is just too much. I didn't want a pizza, so I settled for a cheese and bacon roll, which is kind of like a mini pizza. So I was like, that gave me the pizza thing, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna miss a pizza, I think. A burger, maybe I might do that today. I might miss that. A ham and cheese toasted sandwich, I might miss that. I'm just having like the last of like. That's it, man. Like, say your goodbyes. This is it. And this is it for life. It's like this version of Andrew is dying. And there's so much freedom in it. I can finally be like, oh, oh, thank God. You know, like, it's like, whoa, this like battle of my life. And the battle has just been this bargaining. It's just been this consistent bargaining of, it's fine to have a treat. And I have had periods where I haven't had any processed foods, but then things will creep in. I'll be like, okay, well, start having some rice, some grains, etc. And then things just start creeping in, or you have a bunch of people, just everybody's on that train of like, but what about a treat? A treat is fine. A treat is this. It's fine. It's just one tiny ice cream. It fits in your calories. It fits in all this crap. You can have that. It's a sugar-free drink. It's a blah, blah, blah. It's a blah, 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 blah. And because I never put it in the category of like, it's cigarettes, it became a slippery slope each and every time. And the problem is, because I've had all this trauma around it, I start blaming myself. And I get so negative about myself. I'm like, oh, like, see, you just like, you can't stop. It's you have and then it's like, it becomes this negative, self-fulfilling, disgusting crap. Like, whoa, my brain just goes, and it's been so therapeutic to observe it. I caught myself being like, right, just throw yourself into cardio, stop everything, smoke a joint tonight, that'll like give you a pattern interrupt. And I was like, whoa, no, just face the pain, face it, like face what you're going through. And in facing that, this like newfound, I was like, right, I need to make the decision. So I feel cheekily good, but also nervous, but not really. Like, I feel good. This is goodbye. This is cigarettes. This is goodbye. It's a whole different life. It's a whole different existence. It's a whole different, like, it is cigarettes and that is who I am. Like, I am a lot of things. I am a non-smoker. I am a non-processed food eater. I don't eat processed food. I don't need to argue about it. I don't need to give you the science behind it. You know, smokers don't be like, but it's fine, it's one a day, it's fine. Like, everyone kind of knows that. With food, everyone just gets their tizzy in a knot. Like, everyone gets their tizzy in a knot. And look, I might stir up some bullshit on social media and get in everybody's business. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just sing. Maybe I'll just sing about eating healthy. Maybe I won't. The problem is most people get in their tizzies because everyone's addicted to it. People get angry when you threaten their addiction and they throw, no, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You know, I don't get triggered if someone's like, oh, but if you smoke the grass, you're going to be dumber. Yeah, probably. Like, I definitely feel slower at times. And at times that slowness is perfect for what I need. Yeah. I'm not going to get angry about it, but people get really angry about it. Anyway, so like, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That is where I'm at. And I'm feeling good. And today is that last day. Today is that day. I made the decision yesterday. I wrote it down. I've started going through all my things and I'm like, okay, all the foods, there's not really many things left. I've gone through the entire supermarket. It's like, bittersweet. Which means what I've done from there on in is I've gone, okay, well, I'm going keto from now. When keto, we're going on lower calories, we're going fat only, fishes, meats, etc. Fat and protein only, 2 hours cardio, and we're just peeling it all the way off until we're happy with our leanness. And then once we're happy with our leanness, so how lean we are, how much body fat we've got, then we'll up the food from there, and then we'll put more eggs in there, we'll put stuff in there. So that's fine. I've marked it as like 30-ish days-ish, but I'm realizing my planning is just been like, just make it to 30 days and then you can have an occasional protein bar or have an occasional this or have that. that's where that stress has been coming from, where now it's just going to happen inevitably. Like, if you stop eating processed food and you eat less and you move more, it's just, guess what? You're going to be in great shape, phenomenal shape, phenomenal. Nobody does it. Nobody does it this way. Well, not a lot of people do it that way. They do all this other blah, 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 bullshit, you know. They try and make shakes out of things and be like, and this, and then you can put this, and then you can have an occasional treat. You do this. You watch the bargaining. It's psycho. It's just psycho. I do it on such a level, so I can talk about it. So it's just inevitable. So I can just remove that stress, which is wild. Which is wild because, like, my book covers how to do it without dealing with the addiction of processed food. And it works. It's great. I have been not leaning into necessarily pain. I've been processing. There's an equation of change in there, which is exactly how pain works and changes work. But what I needed to do now is to get into incredible shredded shape. There's like another level to reach, and the pain that I needed to reach was that if I want to keep incredible shape all the time, year round, I needed to face that existence of what that's like not being that way. And there's a choice that I needed to make. The choice that I needed to make was, that's really important to me. Feeling really good, feeling good vibrationally, and feeling good in my body, and feeling good nutritionally. It's now kind of beyond fat or weight. It's about literally being able to sing. It's being able to express, and all of that is hinged on the nutrition that I put in. You can't circumvent that. It is about the nutrition that I put into my body, full stop. So, in dealing with that pain, I've come to the place where I'm making the permanent change. So it is actually exactly how the book states, but it's just sort of the next step of where you want your rig to be. And that's the pain that I had to cause for myself and change. If you don't know what I'm talking about, so the book that I wrote, it's called The Psychology of Weight Loss. It describes the equation of change, and it's something that I've coined, and there's potentially going to be a separate book just on what's called the equation. And it's the equation of how to get anything in life. And if you understand how your brain works, we always play with pain and pleasure. And if you can pull the levers of pain and pleasure yourself, you can actually leash yourself to make any changes that you want in your life, for the better or for the worse, etc. You should get the book if you haven't. Point is like, I'm happy, but I'm content and I'm calm about it. Instead of being like this, you need to just run. You need to undo the damage of the last week. You need to go. It's like, this is the one decision that's really going to change everything for me. You know, I had to confront 6-7 years ago that if I wanted to have a rig and have like muscle and be defined, I could not smoke. I can't smoke cigarettes. Yeah, there might be 2 or 3 people out there that can do it. I can't do that. So I had to confront that wasn't okay, that I had to become a non-smoker. If I want to hit a stadium, if we're going on a road to stadium, if we're going on a road to sex icon, if we're going road to me just feeling great in my body and loving myself, I don't do processed food. That's it. I don't do processed food. We've covered supplements are going to be fine. Supplements, because I'm putting my body through tears, pains, rips, supplements are fine. You know, plant proteins, and they have traces of little things and stuff, but no sauces. I'm getting rid of my mustards. I'm getting rid of all that shit. Even the mustard, it's like, nah, let it go. I don't do processed food. I don't do processed food, and you can do the same. There's never somebody that has stopped eating all processed food and has felt worse. Like in a month, you will literally feel like an incredible human being, a different human being. If you've ever gone through that process, it's like, it's wild. It's two different people. It's two entirely different people. And I'm so excited to be the best version of myself, fuel-wise, permanently for the rest of my life. And all I needed to do was make one choice. And the choice is here. And I am excited for this journey because this is exciting. I love you. This has been a long video. Thank you for listening. I hope you got some massive value. I think the biggest thing out of this video, if you're still here, is really what can you do in your life? There's one or two things that will make the biggest difference. One or two choices called I don't do that anymore, or I always do that every day. Like I exercise every morning now for an hour. I don't do sugary drinks. Like it could be, those things can change over time, but what is like one or two really high return on investment choices that you can make that will like transform your life, and have the courage to make them. I'm doing it right now. I'm doing big ones. Well, in my world, it's big. And in your world, your one will be big as well. Like mentally, we're going to be feeling the same about it. So have the courage to make them. Have the courage to make them. You know what they are. Stop lying to yourself. Make them. Make them. It'll change your life. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.